this is Aaron from My Dying Bride, and you're listening to Rockum Radio. Enjoy the show, and hopefully we'll be able to come on tour sometime in the future.
Hi, how are you? Aaron.
I'm okay. Not too bad.
How are you spending these lockdown days?
Trying to catch up, really. There's a lot of press for the new EP, and we launched the beer very recently. Got cans of my beer. Oh, it's disappeared.
Yes. Oh, fantastic.
So we've been busy. Just keeping busy, because obviously we're not playing any live shows.
Okay.
So we have to keep busy in other ways. So the EP is coming out on the 20th of November, and then, the beer's out. Just trying to keep busy, trying to keep active. I don't want to sit down and do nothing all day and watch Netflix, because that would drive me crazy.
Okay.
So, and My Dying Bride don't have a manager. Myself and Andrew are the managers of My Dying Bride. So we've always got work to do, so we're always keeping busy.
Okay. I listened to your album, to your EP. It's awesome.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. What can you tell me about this new EP? Macabre
Well, it was recorded.
Cabaret. I like the name.
Oh, yeah. The music was recorded at the same time as the album, because we recorded 11 songs.
11 songs?
And we gave them all to Nuclear Blast and said, you guys need to pick which songs you want for the album and which songs you want for the EP, because we can't decide, because we're just arguing all the time, because we think all the songs are great, so all the songs should be on the album. So it was recorded at the same time.
Okay.
But our engineer, Mark Minot, he's tweaked the sound a little bit for the EP, just to give it its own identity. So it doesn't sound like it was recorded at the same time as the Ghost of Orion. If you look back at our history in music, we've quite often done an album, then an EP, then an album, then an EP. So it just kind of works for us. We like the EP format. And Macabre Cabaret is the latest one, coming out very soon.
Okay. The lyrics in My Dying Bride always are deep, dark, sensual, and unique. What inspired you to make music?
Well, it can be all kinds of things. First of all, life. The life that we live can be happy and it can be sad. And so you write about those moments. But I like poetry as well. So when I write about something, I don't just write it like a story. I will write it in a more poetical way. So maybe you have to read between the lines to understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But again, movies can be influenced for me. Books, people I meet. I might meet an interesting person one day and think, okay, this person's going to appear in one of my songs. But obviously I would change the name, of course. Same with films and all kinds of things. But I do read a lot. Poetry is my great love, and so I'm always reading poetry. And it's just something I do when I'm not writing lyrics for My Dying Bride.
Okay.
I will write poetry. So I'm always writing. It's just what I like to do. It's how I express myself, I think.
Beautiful. What can you tell me about your last studio album, The Ghost of Orion?
Well, that was our 13th studio album, I think. It took a long time to record.
You have a lot of studio albums. You have a big list.
Yeah.
A complete life.
It's a big list. Yeah, I know. It was recorded here in Yorkshire, in the north of England.
Okay.
Produced by Mark Minot, who's a great engineer and producer. Andrew did all the guitars, because our other guitar player, Calvin, he left just before the recording. So Andrew did all the guitars. Lane has done the bass, Sean's keyboards and violin. We had some female guest vocals from Lindy Faye Heller from Wardruna, and cello is played by the lovely Jo Quayle. She was a guest on the album as well. And I did the vocals, and the artwork was done by a great guy called Eliran Cantor. Wow. And it seems to do really well. The fans liked it, the journalists liked it. So it seems the Ghost of Orion got thumbs up.
Wow, perfect. The good thing that you continue working all time. That's amazing. This year, 2020, I found something good because I don't know if like the people has more motivation to create. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And you are an example. You have a new studio album and an EP.
Yeah, well, you've got to keep busy. I mean, we recorded these, of course, before the pandemic, so we had no idea we wouldn't be playing live, which is a shame, you know. But really, before 2020, we hadn't played live since summertime 2017. So it's been nearly three years since we last played live. So it's starting to get to be a long time. And, of course, the coronavirus will last into 2021. So I don't know when we're going to play live. It could be summertime next year, or it could even be autumn next year. You know, maybe a year from now we might do our first gig in 3 years. We just don't know. So if there's no gigs happening, we might do like an online show. You know, like Paradise Lost have just done one.
Yes.
So we might do something like that. We'll just see how it goes. I would prefer to play live in front of people, but if we can't do that, we might do an online gig.
Okay. Why did you have 5 years of distance since this your new studio album and the previous one?
Well, first of all, we went on tour, and that takes quite a long time. And then, unfortunately, my 5-year-old daughter got cancer, so we had to fight for 2.5 years in hospital. But she's fine now, which is great.
Beautiful.
She's not fully recovered. Yeah, she's not fully recovered, but for the most part, yeah, she's doing okay. So, of course, I kind of left the band for 2 years while I helped to try and, you know, get her back to fitness and strength. But it kind of blew my mind, you know. When something like that happens, your brain just goes crazy. And
yes,
I just wasn't interested in any music. I didn't want to write anything. I didn't want to sing anything. We cancelled loads of shows because, you know, this is a life-changing moment.
Exactly.
And only when she started to become better and better and she was able to walk again that I decided we would do the next album. But, yeah, it took time, you know. You do tour, and then we had a terrible sickness in the family. And then the album took a year to record, The Ghost of Orion, because Nuclear Blast, it was great. They never gave us a deadline. They just said, you can deliver the album whenever you like.
Of course,
so,
that was good.
Fantastic. Yeah, so that was great. So we would record a song, take it home, listen to it at home for a couple of days, think, how can we make it better? And if we've got a better idea, we go back to the studio, re-record the song and make it better. So we had plenty of time. So, yeah, a combination of things meant there was a 5-year gap between this album and the previous album. There won't be a 5-year gap for the next one.
Okay. Do you think this experience of life, like you say, that happened with your daughter, is giving you something to learn now? Something new that you didn't know before that experience that happened with your daughter?
Well, it changes you for sure. You know, I'm a different person now to who I was 5 years ago. Because when you go through a life-changing event, your outlook on life changes. So I am much calmer now, more relaxed, because I don't get annoyed or irritated by silly things. You know, like when your phone battery runs out. In the old days, I'd be like, "Oh, my fucking phone!" Ah! But now,
true.
Everything is relaxed. That's not worth worrying about. So things that I used to worry about, I no longer worry about. I'm just relaxed, and I'm happy that I'm healthy and my daughter's healthy, and everything's cool. So yeah,
that's perfect.
So I've grown up quickly in a short space of time. You know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of medical terms. I learned a lot about chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery, and it was really tough. It was really, really tough. But I think after the event, I think I'm now a better person.
That's beautiful. Congratulations on your beer. All Earth. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about this new beer?
Well, we started this before lockdown as well. We started the beer kind of November 2019. And it's a local brewery here in Yorkshire, only 10 minutes from my house. And they had never done a lager beer before. They'd just done an ale. So we said to them, can you do a lager? Because we want to try a lager. And they said, yeah, okay, we'll do a lager. And there's lots of different hops and ingredients and things, magic things. And we tasted lots of samples, and it was great. And then we finally decided, okay, this one's perfect. And can you put it in cans instead of bottles? Because we understand that our fans around the world will buy the beer.
Of course.
Easier to send in cans than it is in glass bottles.
Exactly.
So they had to try a whole new canning process. So it was a lot of hard work. But I think the product is great. You know, all these cans, I've got like loads of cans here. They're all empty. There's no full cans anymore, so I need to ring the brewery and get some more beer. But it's just a nice thing to do, you know. Again, we started this last year, so it had nothing to do with COVID-19. But it's a nice thing to keep the fans interested. And it's a nice thing to let the world know that My Dying Bride is still busy. And it's a nice thing to drink.
Wow, fantastic. I hope I can find the beer here in Canada one day.
Yeah, well, the idea is, obviously people can order an individual case, but of course the brewery, they would love a distributor in every country, so they could send big cases, you know, all on one pallet to Canada or America or Japan or Australia, and then those people can buy it straight from the local one rather than international.
Fantastic.
So that's the hope. So we are hoping if there's any distributors listening, get in touch with Darkland Brewery and order some beer.
Wow. Oh my God. Who are your biggest musical influences, Aaron?
In the old days, it was people like Candlemass, Celtic Frost, Metallica, really heavy stuff. But, you know, that was 30 years ago. As I've grown and moved on, I think some of the music I like now, I still love the old heavy stuff, but I love things like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I think he's great. You know, I loved Leonard Cohen when he was still with us. Amazing songs, amazing poet. He's really wonderful. And I listen to all kinds of stuff. I just did a top 10, my favourite music of all time. And there are things like Mazzy Star, The Divine Comedy, Bull Run and the Club de Gore. There's some weird stuff that I like. It's not all metal. Most of it's metal.
Of course.
You know, I like a lot of stuff. But I think at the moment, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds are my favourite.
Okay. I think it's good to open your eyes and your ears to all kind of sounds and musicians. And sometimes you find a surprise when you have a... No? It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that my top 10 list, which I think is broadcast today, actually, on the Devil's Mouth podcast, I hope some people hear it, something they've never heard before, and go, wow, that's great.
Fantastic. I got a question. If you could advise a young musician who wants to start a music career, which would be your advice?
You have to write songs because you want to write songs. If you write songs to make money, you won't make any money, you'll be very disappointed, and you won't like writing the songs. The songs have to come from the heart, you know? When we write songs, we don't care about if the song's going to be played on radio, you know, and we don't care about writing a verse, then a chorus, then a verse, then a chorus, then a guitar solo. We don't do any of that. We just write music that is powerful, full of emotion, and might mean something to somebody. So I would say to a young musician, just love what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, you don't care that you don't make any money because you still love what you're doing. So, and if you can make a bit of money, great. But if you won't.
If you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. If you could somehow do something about music piracy, people downloading your music for free.
Okay, MP3s, like things.
Yeah, I mean, when we formed in 1990, there was no such thing as an MP3. No one had the internet, no one had mobile phones, nothing. And when you wanted a record, you went to a store and you bought a record.
Of course.
And so, and I like to have a record. I've got hardly any. I bought almost no MP3s because when I get a record, I want to feel it in my hands. I want to open it and read everything. And when I spend my money, I want something for my money. When you just download an MP3, even if you bought it legally, there's just something missing.
Exactly.
It's not really yours. You may have paid for it or illegally downloaded it, but you're missing all the artwork, the photographs, all that kind of stuff. So I wish if we could maybe get rid of MP3s, that might help a lot of bands.
Okay. Maybe stop the illegal downloads of MP3s, the servers. Maybe that helps to fix that situation.
Well, even legal downloads, like if we needed to make $1 from one of the online people, I'm not going to mention any names, people would have to buy our song like 800 times for us to get $1. So that's why people say, oh yeah, it's great having streaming services. They pay the bands almost nothing. So I don't think online streaming services are a good idea at all.
It's not a good idea, definitely. I have been doing this for more than 30 years, and to be honest, it's not work because one day the people, they say, stop, I can't continue. Because how can you live? How can you pay even the records? It's impossible. And I think it's not a good idea, my personal opinion. It's not a good idea, the streaming. And I don't like the streaming. I don't have an account in Spotify. I buy records. See.
Pink Diamond, yeah.
Cool. I love tapes. I love my wife every day tell me stop to buy records. There's no space in our apartment. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Adam, any last words to your fans in Rockum Radio?
Stay strong, stay safe, look after each other, because, sometimes when you're in lockdown and you're stuck together in the same house, sometimes you can argue and, it can get uncomfortable. So people should just take a deep breath, try to relax, put on some music, put on a movie, just chill out. We're not at war with anyone anymore, so no one's bombing you, no one's trying to kill you. Just chill out and watch Netflix all day. It's not a problem, Just chill out, everybody. Stop going crazy.
That's right, my friend. Keep on rocking, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
See you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.